Right now, somewhere in your house or on your street, an animal is asleep. A dog on a couch. A cat on a windowsill. A bird tucked into a hedge. And if you watched long enough, you'd see it. The twitch of a paw. The flick of an eyelid. A low sound from the throat that isn't quite a bark, or a meow, or a song. For most of human history, we assumed this meant nothing. A muscle spasm. A reflex. We were wrong. What you're looking at when an animal twitches in its sleep is one of the oldest forms of consciousness on Earth. Older than humans. Older than primates. Possibly older than mammals themselves. And in the last 40 years, scientists have figured out something that should change the way you look at every animal you've ever seen with its eyes closed. They are not just sleeping. They are somewhere else. Let's start with the brain. When you fall asleep, your brain doesn't shut down. It cycles. Every 90 minutes or so, you drop into a state called REM sleep. Rapid eye movement. Your muscles go slack, your eyes flicker behind closed lids, and your brain lights up with activity that looks almost identical to being awake. This is where dreams live. Almost every mammal on Earth has REM sleep. So do birds. So do some reptiles. The architecture is ancient. Which means whatever dreaming is, it didn't start with us. But knowing an animal enters REM is not the same as knowing it dreams. For decades, that gap was the whole problem. You can't ask a rat what it saw. Then in 2001, a neuroscientist named Matthew Wilson at MIT found a way to ask anyway. Wilson had been implanting tiny electrodes in the hippocampus of rats. The hippocampus is the part of the brain that builds memories of places. When a rat ran through a maze, specific neurons fired in specific patterns. Every turn, every corner, every dead end produced its own neural signature. Then Wilson let the rats sleep. While they slept, the exact same neurons fired in the exact same order. The rats were running the maze again inside their heads. Not random firing. Not noise. The full sequence, sometimes faster than the original, sometimes slower. Researchers could tell exactly where in the maze the rat was dreaming it was. They were replaying their day. Wilson published the results in the journal Neuron. The reaction in the field was immediate. We finally had proof that animals don't just enter dream states. They dream specific content. They dream things that happen to them. But what they could see in sleep was still only neurons firing. You couldn't watch a dream. Until someone tried it with cats. In the 1960s, a French neuroscientist named Michel Jouvet was trying to understand why bodies go limp during REM sleep. He suspected there was a specific region of the brainstem that paralyzed the muscles to keep the sleeper from acting out whatever was happening inside the dream. So he lesioned that region in domestic cats. Carefully. Surgically. Just enough to remove the off switch. What happened next is one of the strangest things ever filmed in a laboratory. The cats fell asleep normally. Their eyes closed. Their breathing slowed. They entered REM. And then, with their eyes still shut, they stood up. They stalked. They crouched. They pounced at things that weren't there. They batted invisible prey across the floor. One arched its back and hissed at a corner of an empty room. Another performed the full sequence of hunting behavior, the slow approach, the freeze, the leap, on absolutely nothing. The cats were not awake. Their brains were locked in dream state. What Jouvet had done was let the world watch what a cat does inside its dream. They hunt. Every house cat curled up on a bed tonight is, on some level, still out there in the grass. But it gets stranger. In 2000, a researcher named Daniel Margolish at the University of Chicago was studying zebra finches. Songbirds learn their songs the way human children learn language. They listen, they imitate, they refine. Margolish recorded the precise neural firing pattern that played when a male finch sang its mating song. Then he recorded the bird while it slept. The same firing pattern played in its sleep, note for note. The bird was rehearsing its song in its dreams. It wasn't just memory. It was practice. The birds woke up better singers than when they fell asleep. This was the moment the field realized dreaming might not be a mammalian invention at all. It might be something much older. Something the common ancestor of birds and mammals already had 300 million years ago. And then, in 2019, it got stranger than anyone expected. Octopuses. Researchers in Brazil and later at the Okinawa Institute of Science in Japan began filming octopuses while they slept. Octopuses change color through specialized cells in their skin. While awake, they use this to communicate, camouflage, react. While asleep, they kept doing it. A sleeping octopus on camera will cycle through colors. Pale, then mottled, then a dark flush across the body, then back to pale. The patterns match exactly what the octopus would do while hunting or hiding while awake. Their bodies are narrating something. Researchers believe they may be in something like REM sleep, processing the day in the only language their nervous system speaks. An octopus diverged from us on the evolutionary tree 500 million years ago. We share almost nothing. No spine. No central brain in the way we have one. 8 arms with their own clusters of neurons. And yet something is happening behind those closed eyes that looks unmistakably like a dream. Whatever dreaming is, it is not ours. It is much older than us. And it is much wider than we thought. So what do wild predators dream about? Field biologists studying wolves, African wild dogs, and lions have observed REM sleep in the wild. Twitching paws. Vocalizations during sleep. Tails moving in coordinated patterns. The same hunting sequences Jouvet's cats acted out, scaled up into the body of a wolf. Researchers believe these animals are doing what the rats were doing. Replaying the chase. Consolidating the memory of terrain. Practicing the strike. The dream is rehearsal. Survival, run again in the dark. But if animals can dream, they can also have nightmares. In rescue facilities, animals with histories of severe trauma show abnormal sleep patterns. Elephants pulled from poaching incidents have been documented waking suddenly, vocalizing, trembling. Dogs from abusive homes cry in their sleep, sometimes for years after rescue. Chimpanzees who survived medical testing have been observed in what researchers describe as sleep distress, the body unable to fully relax even in deep rest. Whatever they are seeing behind their closed eyes, it is not always good. The cognitive equipment for trauma to follow an animal into its sleep is the same equipment that lets it dream of the meal it caught, the song it sang, the maze it solved. The inner life cuts both ways. Now picture your pet right now. Or any animal you have ever loved. Or any animal you have ever seen sleeping at a zoo, in a pasture, on the side of a road. Every single one of them was somewhere else. A horse standing in a field with its eyes half closed is running. A bird on a branch is singing the song it will sing tomorrow. A dog dreaming on the rug is back in the park, chasing something only it can see. A cat is hunting nothing. An octopus on the seafloor is cycling through the colors of a reef it visited yesterday. And if you go back far enough, back through wolves and rats and finches and reptiles, back through the common ancestor of every animal with a complex nervous system, you find that dreaming is not a uniquely human thing. It is one of the oldest things alive. It has been happening in the dark for hundreds of millions of years before there was anyone capable of asking what it meant. Tonight, when you fall asleep, you will dream. So will billions of other animals on the planet. Most of them will never be studied. Most of them will never be filmed. Most of them will live and die without anyone knowing what they saw behind their eyes. But it happened. It is happening right now. We are not the only ones with an inner world. We are just the only ones who write about it. And every other animal that ever closed its eyes was telling itself a story we will never hear.